Here in the shop, we have our 22 Super Duty Platinum, and if you guys could tell, it's been driven in the rain, so it's a little bit dirty. We're gonna do a little cleanup on this thing today, hopefully. But we did add one more thing. If you guys have been following along on our mods on this truck, we did the Banks system, we did the iDash, and we did the pedal monster on this truck. And I gotta say, after driving it for a few days, it is absolutely awesome. In the rain, even on sport level 4, I find myself spinning the rear tires a little bit. We have 35-inch mud terrains on the back, so definitely we do have grip, but it wants to spin them because it just wants to go now. So it absolutely wakes up the Super Duty, and if you do buy one, you're definitely not gonna be disappointed. So as for our part number, this is what we got right here. This is a product from Autometer, and the number is a 17330. And this one actually fits our single gauge very, very nicely. If you look on Banks' website, they do have a dual solution for this, but unless you're running 2 iDashes, you really don't need that, and that was kind of my thing. So now when we sit in the truck, we have this nice gauge pod right here, and we do have our iDash right down there exactly where I wanted it. And now when I'm driving, I'm looking at my gauges. I can see my other gauge right there. Everything just looks so much better for me. You do lose the handle, so if you are big into using that handle, which me personally, I don't think I ever use that. I don't miss it when I get in and out of the truck. I'm usually grabbing the steering wheel, so not really a loss for me there. The coloring is slightly different. This is a little more of a satin finish, and then you got more of a dull finish over there, but they're both black, so it really, for me, it doesn't really affect any of my personal preferences as far as that goes. It does have the little tweeted provision you can see over there, and then there's screws that come with the kit, and then you can swap it into your new gauge ready A-pillar right here. And as far as fitment goes, obviously this one is a lot thinner than the factory, so you can kind of see this is a little bit of movement right here. It's not really bowed out like some of the people have said in the reviews. Some of them, they said it was really kind of popped out. It didn't really fit well. You could judge for yourself. I mean, look at it right from here. I think it fits actually pretty nicely. That also said, I did have to kind of push it down in here a little bit and just manipulate it so it fit as nicely as I wanted it to. And maybe the people that didn't have it fit well up here is because it was kind of bound up on the bottom. But let's have a look on the outside. You can see I definitely need to clean my window, but over here, you can see there's a little bit of a gap where you can see that airbag slightly. But if you look over here on the other side, I can see the same kind of deal going on there. I can actually see the white paint a little bit, which there is a solution. If you guys watch Ford Boss Me, he does have a video with a solution for that. And that's kind of what I did over here, because with the gauge pod, it was actually less coverage than the factory. So I could see the white paint pretty clearly on this side. So I did exactly what he did in his video, and I took some tape. It's actually just some tape that you'd use on harnesses, like a felt tape. And I just put that along that seam, and I should probably do it over here too, that I'm not gonna see that white either. But it definitely hides it and kind of makes everything look nice and seamless. So we're gonna regen the truck, get some runs. It's gonna be a good time. All right, so a little pedal monster acceleration. I'll try to keep the camera as steady as I can. Check this out. We're just cruising along, minding our own business. Oh yeah. This thing's like warp speed, I love it. All right, so I talked a little bit about the 2023 in one of my past videos, just kind of the things that maybe I didn't need because I already have this truck. And I mean, yeah, I stick by a lot of what I said. I stick by all of what I said. A lot of the things that they added to that truck really don't pertain to me personally. It doesn't mean that it doesn't pertain to other people. And there are some things that people are going to use in that new truck that this truck doesn't have. So it's not to say that it's for everybody, but for me personally, A lot of the things they added were more so for the gooseneck guys, which is all good. I mean, hey, if you're crawling around the bed of your truck, hooking up chains and all that, that new truck does have some features that are going to help you out. As well as if you have your tailgate down, you're backing up to your trailer, you want to smack into the trailer. That was something that was brought up also. So yeah, there is some really good things about the new technology in that new truck. It's really just, for me, the looks of it don't really appeal to me just yet, but it's like I also said in the video, sometimes those things take a little bit of time to grow on you, like those side vents, like the new grills, like the new headlights, all of those things. I mean, the interior, I like the new interior on the Raptor. I'm not entirely sure how well it fits with the Super Duty, but I guess in time we get used to pretty near anything. So now you can kind of see my view. I can look down, see my gauges down here, no problem. I can look over, see my Banks gauge. You can actually see it went down to 94. So now it says 80. So I think we're in the regen right now. So we're gonna keep on trucking here, make sure this thing cleans out nicely. That's always one of those things. You know how people have electric cars, they have anxiety for range. I have anxiety for DPF filter being plugged. I don't like letting it go too long. I don't want to shut it off when it's not in a regen, or it's just starting a regen, because that is really bad for these trucks. You can see it's going down to 75 now. So we're definitely in a regen right now, and we're gonna drive it until it goes to 0. That's why I really like that A-Rod put this gauge on my truck. I'm pretty sure this is only something you can do with ForScan, but if you do get the Banks gauge, I believe that you can have that in the corner even if you don't have it on your dash. So just kind of one of those things which is nice to have, even though it's a little bit kind of weird that it says a higher number there than it does over here. So during our regen, we are at 25% now on the dash, and the Banks is still saying 94. So I'm not sure if we have to turn the truck off, turn it back on for that to read correctly. I am not entirely sure. I thought it was reading live data, but I'm just kind of showing you guys what I'm seeing here, and we're pretty much done our regen. All right, so it is a little bit delayed. We do have 15% right now, and we have dropped to 31 on the Banks. So we are in the right direction, which makes me happy because I want to be able to believe everything that's on my gauge. And even though it's showing a little high, at least it's somewhat accurate. So we are at 0 right now on the dash, and we are reading 26 on the Banks. So we'll see when that all kind of levels out, whether that ends up going lower than 26, but as you can see, our regen is complete. So if you guys haven't seen the video I made with A-Rod where we did the ForScan on this truck, we did do an option where I can postpone the regen. So basically I can go into my menu and I can unclick auto regen. So it will not regen if I'm, say, at a higher percentage and I'm gonna park the truck and I don't want to start a regen and then shut it off halfway through. That is probably the worst thing you can do for these systems. And with mine, I can go in and unclick that, and then you get a little light on the dash saying that it's not going to regen, just to remind you to turn it back on. But that is a nice option. We are showing 0 on the dash right now, 25% on the Banks, so I'm not sure why it shows a little high, but I did talk to A-Rod and he said on the scan tool it seems to show high too, so I'm not entirely sure why that is. It's kind of like the gas gauge on the Ram, where at a quarter tank the gas light comes on, so I guess people try to push it too far, but it's not like you can command a regen, so I'm not really sure why that is. But you can command regens on cab chassis, but not on these trucks from what I know. And it would be nice if you could, because if it's at like 85% or something like that, and you just, you know you're going on a highway trip, you can just have it do its thing. But I guess mine did regen at 85, so I guess that's probably good enough. I mean, I have seen it gone up to 95. First regen with the Banks iDash. I do like the way that the gauge works. Everything is really nice, and you can customize it. So if you're ever doing any performance stuff, it's really nice to keep an eye on different temperatures. And now I was actually able to put my DEF gauge on my dash instead of the boost gauge, because the boost gauge didn't really actually show your boost anyway. It was just kind of a bar. So it was just, I mean, obviously you want to have a boost gauge if you got a turbo, you want to see when that goes up, but to be honest, I never really looked at it. So now it says DEF, and I can see how much I have in the tank, and then my boost gauge is now up on my Banks. So that is all what I need, so I can actually add more things with the Banks that I don't have to have then on my regular screen, which makes it worthwhile. So now that we have everything regen, we are back to our safe operating range. Now we can go try to find some runs for the candy machine. So I don't know if you guys out there are Mercedes fans, but check this thing out. The thing looks like a spaceship. It's pretty awesome. I was never really a big Mercedes fan, but when they started getting into like V8s and the AMG stuff, some of it's pretty cool. They have some really nice interiors, and they're just kind of like a real, like, it's like a luxury muscle car, and they have awesome V8 sound, super nice power, and just the looks are absolutely awesome on those things. So another thing I love about my Super Duty, obviously the big screen, but you can see the aerial view of your truck, and you can see the regular parking stall ends like right there. Well, we're over there, but that's just how it is with, and this is the short bed truck. Imagine you had the long bed, you pretty much need 2 spots almost. Well, let's run into Giant and see if we can end our quest on the first try. See if we can get some of these delicious runs, because by the end of this episode, I want to be crunching down some of that sweet goodness that I remember from when I was a kid. So I never wanted runts until I knew that I couldn't find any. Even online, there's people trying to sell them for like $33 a box, which leads me to believe that maybe you can't get them anymore, because I went to Giant, I went to Target, and I went to Walmart yesterday, and nobody has them. Why would you get rid of runts? It's like the best thing ever. Well, at least that's what I remember. I really don't need any more candies for the kids, and it really says on the machine, so it's kind of like, it's going to be a good fit. We're going to keep trying. I don't know if we're going to find them, though. Well, they don't have any runts, but they do have Mike and Ike's. I don't like Mike and Ike's as much. Runts are better. Why is there no runts? It's because the bananas weren't that good. The bananas weren't the best, I know, but what do you can make little fangs with them. They're kind of fun. I'm going to miss out on the watermelons. We're going to miss out on the oranges. We're going to miss out on the delicious little strawberry hearts. Strawberry hearts. We all need more love in this world, and the strawberry hearts had what we needed in the runs. What is this world coming to? And if you guys are wondering what my current fuel economy is, we're at 15 miles per gallon. The pedal monster's been on for maybe, this is my 3rd trip with it. So we're gonna kind of monitor and see whether 15 miles per gallon is something that goes up or down with this new thing installed, and just kind of see where it goes from there. Now, usually it's so soapy here. Oh yeah, get a little spin action coming around that corner. But I gotta say, that car wash, I probably could have spit on the truck harder than that pressure was. Pretty bad. But I think we got it cleaned up. At least got one layer of stuff off of the truck. It's a big truck, and when the tires stick out just a little bit, it definitely collects a little layer of grime. And with a white truck, you don't really see it until you clean it, and you're like, okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. Now we got 2 minivans in front of us, so I was about to say it's a dry cycle, but we might have to wait a second. And the dry cycle. So now that the truck is clean, we do have a couple of products we're going to be trying out. One being, well, I'm not going to tell you because it's going to be coming up on a new video coming up very soon. A couple of different things to kind of keep this thing looking as nice as possible with a little less effort as having to go and hand wash it every single time. We're going to see how these things work out and keep this thing looking fresh. Well, everybody, we got our truck regen. We have it clean. We have candy for the candy machine. Very, very important. And we do have our Banks A-pillar mount installed. Everything is ready to go for that. It looks absolutely awesome. So you guys know where to go with that part number if you guys want to get one for your truck. And now you kind of know how it looks. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep that hammer down.